bringing to you. Every time we turn live, man, you know it's the truth. Every after show, moving down, it's the time to move around. No Gimmicks podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring, this is the time for no gimmicks, no we doing our thing. What's your state of mind, state of mind? Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, no gimmicks. We take you to your limit, what's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on, that's the time. Guarantee we move, you know how we respond. The state design, when we feel it. Moving down, what's the healing? No gimmicks is the feeling.
Yo, what is up, people? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. We got a good show for you guys tonight. Shout out to everybody in the DFPN. It's been a great week. We had some great podcasts. Shout out to the Queens of Nerdum. Shout out to everybody on the team that came together to make a great spooky season podcast the other day. Very good time. We need to do more of these, man. It's a great time when the team comes together and just let ideas roll and you know, have good conversation. We definitely need to do more of that. But I'm here with my co-host tonight. He's trying to cosplay a little bit, man. D Vader, the fabulous one. Frankie D, what's up, man?
The dark side runs through me, my friend.
I love
and
it,
I am
man.
fabulous. I am fabulous. We are damn near towards Hallow's Eve, Halloween, you know. So I'm with it, bro.
I love it, man. I love it. I love the spirit. It's good shit.
I was gonna come on here as I was gonna come on here as Kylo Ren.
You
know, and I was like, you know, well, maybe I could do Vader, but I'm like, that's too much work. So I'm just like, you know, let me just put this on here and you know, go through there. But in the future, you know, we're gonna mix things up here on No Gimmicks.
All right, I feel that. Speaking of which, let's jump right into it, man. We had some good stuff happening over the weekend. One of the big announcements that came out was from Disney today, actually. They wanted to slide Blade off of its books for 2025. It was planned for a release this year. Then they moved it to next year. Now it's completely off the books. What's going on with it? Why are we seeing this movement? What is there any hope that we will get Blade on the big screen in a modern version anytime soon?
So, listen, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened with this movie. So, if I remember correctly, this movie was announced in 2020. Okay. Kevin Feige talked about it, and he brought Mahershala Ali out there, and they were going to do this. He's going to be, you know, taking the mantle from Wesley Snipes to become Blade, right? Okay. Now, they had several different scripts. You know, I don't know how many scripts they went through. And it got to the point where they wanted to have a female come in and basically lead the movie, and Blade was going to be kind of like the fourth character in his own movie. That's not going to work. The movie is Blade. It's about Blade, right? Okay. Fast forward to Mahershala Ali's agent coming out and saying that this is the most unprofessional thing he has ever seen, where they have not gotten the script done. They have not had a read of anything. They haven't heard nothing about this, right? Then we move on to Deadpool Wolverine, where you bring back the OG Blade, the man himself, Wesley Snipes. That shook up the game, basically. That rocked the foundation because no one was expecting to see him in that film because of the perceived heat that he and Ryan Reynolds had.
Right.
So when he had that cameo in Deadpool Wolverine and he made the comment, there's only one Blade. There's only one Blade. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to have to rework this because there was no way that this movie was coming out in 2025 when there is no script, there's nothing going on. Matter of fact, Mahershala Ali's moved on to the Jurassic Park reboot, Jurassic World
Right.
reboot. That's what he's doing.
Right.
So I don't know if he's completely gone from the project. I know that they've removed it from the movie slate because it's impossible for it to come out. It's not going to happen. So what I think is going to happen, my prediction is you're going to see Mahershala Ali in Blade, but you're also going to see Wesley Snipes in Blade as well. I think we're going to have a multiverse situation here where there's going to be two Blades and one of them are going to die. And that's how you're going to be able to fix this because you can't not have Mahershala Ali in the movie, but you also want to have, Wesley Snipes because that's going to make money. Wesley Snipes is the draw. And their ages are not that far apart at this point. You know what I mean? So the only way to make this work is multiverse, two Blades. That's the only way it's going to work.
Yeah. And they've already kind of planted that seed in Deadpool Wolverine with the Void and everything that happened there. I don't know if we get a Blade movie, honestly. And here's why. They've already had cameos. I know they filmed some stuff already with Mahershala Ali because he's already had cameos in other movies. Not on camera, but his voice has been, you know who it is and you know who he's playing by the cameo he's made. So the fact that we don't have a movie, and this happened, when did Eternals come out? Like 2021 ish, 2020, 21, something like that. Like it's been a while since that movie came out and he had a cameo in that movie. And we still haven't had a Blade movie. We haven't seen Blade other than Deadpool Wolverine. So we know that through press reports that they've gone through multiple directors. They've changed a lot of things over the years. This movie seemed to not get off its blocks. So it gives me very little hope that they've taken it off the books, that we're going to get one anytime soon. Plus, we got the Wesley Snipes cameo in Deadpool Wolverine. You nailed that one. He said like it's only one Blade. We may just get only one Blade, and on the strength of that, I'm actually not mad at it if we don't get one, honestly, because the Blade movies by themselves, iconic, except for Blade Trinity. Blade Trinity was terrible. And which that's the movie where him and Ryan Reynolds had the supposed heat. But if you leave that franchise as is, it's okay. You don't have to remake it. I think the appearance with him in Deadpool Wolverine, he didn't die. Great. Leave him where he is. Let the franchise be what it is. We don't really need a Blade, and it's going to be hard to connect that character to what they're doing in Marvel now. So I'm okay with him not coming back.
So, and I get that part, but the issue is that the Blade name is a moneymaker for Marvel and Disney, and that's all they care about.
Absolutely.
So like I said, the only way you can do it, and it's like that whole line of "there's only one Blade." I'm sure that was put in that movie for a reason, because they could
definitely.
they put that in there for a reason. Let you know, listen, you can hire Mahershala Ali, all right, which I love Mahershala Ali. That dude's a great actor. Enjoyed him as Cottonmouth and Luke Cage.
Yep.
But Wesley made that role. People don't understand back in the 90s just how important Blade was.
Exactly.
Blade saved Marvel Studios, bro. Like,
no, I say this and people laugh at me, but I'm like, Blade absolutely.
I don't know.
He absolutely saved Marvel.
He did. So I do think that we're going to see a Blade movie. I think that we'll probably see them shooting it maybe late 2025, with a release in 2026. That's what I think is going to happen. But I do believe Wesley Snipes is going to be involved. Definitely. I think that he's going to be involved, and I think that they're going to bring Mahershala Ali in as well. And they're going to try to come up with a compelling story where you can incorporate both talents in this movie.
You
And the only
can
way to do it is
absolutely,
the multiverse.
yeah.
You know, it's just like
You could do that because they're doing that now with a whole bunch of people. That's how they're bringing in the X-Men when they acquired them from Fox. That's how they're bringing them into what they're doing at Marvel. So
yeah, and that's the thing people don't understand is that they have all these different IPs that they acquired from from the Fox person. It's like right now with Spider-Man 4. You know, they're doing that. So
yeah,
it's just these IPs, man. It's like if it is it oversaturation in the marketplace? Yeah, maybe. But as long as you put out a compelling story and it makes sense, people will go to it. You know,
absolutely,
and that's
absolutely.
what we need. We need, honestly, when it comes to entertainment, we want to be entertained. So more entertainment, less messaging, and you'll make money, a la Deadpool Wolverine, a la Inside Out 2, a la
I
Twisters.
I think
You will,
that's what they're getting back to. Honestly,
yeah.
I got a
Well,
message earlier that
questionable.
I should watch one of the shows after I get off of here.
Mm.
They're like Marvel's back, and I'm like, that's a bold
Nah,
statement.
it's not. If they're talking about, and I know some people watch it or whatever. If they're talking about Agatha, it's not. Agatha is not even. It's never been in the top 10. No.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I like the
If they're because
show
that's the only thing they
itself.
can say. That's the only thing that's out right now from Marvel. If they're
Yeah,
saying Marvel's
that's
back.
fine.
Yeah.
It probably won't because it's one of those. It's one of those. It's not a mainstream show. You know what I mean?
But
You'll have shows like that to where they're not really mainstream, but they're connecting dots. That's the thing that I like about Marvel. What they're doing. I know a lot of people don't really jive with it, and the numbers prove that people don't jive with it. But a lot of those shows that they released, they didn't get a lot of fanfare, but they actually made the movies make more sense to me if you watched them. So,
well,
and it's a preference thing. If it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. That I can understand. Like Agatha
yeah,
probably isn't a lot of people's cup of tea. It just won't be. But
yeah.
what it does to what they're doing, probably in the Doctor Strange world, that movie's going to connect to another Doctor Strange movie, or it's going to connect to Spider-Man 4. It's going to connect to something because of what they're doing in that show.
Yeah, well, as long as you have a show that if there's continuity there
Right.
and it can connect to something else, hey, it is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like
Right.
people right now are talking about the Skeleton Crew that's going to debut on Disney Plus in December. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are like not feeling it or whatever, and it's supposedly this show is going to connect to Ahsoka season 2
Mm.
because of where the kids wound up. So it looks like the kids, because there was some footage. It wasn't footage, but it was actual screenshots that were released by Star
Mm-hmm.
Wars.com,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't supposed to be released, and they took them down real fast. But it's too late. Once you put something on the internet, it's always there.
It's there. Yep.
So what it showed is it showed the kids somewhere, and the terrain that they were on, it looked like Peridia, where you last saw Ahsoka and Sabine Wren.
Yep. Yep.
That's what it looked like. So I think they're gonna meet up with Ahsoka and Sabine, which is gonna connect to Ahsoka season 2, which then connects to the Mandalorian Grogu film, because this is all leading up to Thrawn and bringing back Luke Skywalker
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
them and all that. So that's what's happening. Then they say, well, who's the big baddie going to be in Ahsoka season 2? What's Baben Skull? And we got to see how they're going to do that. They're going to recast the
They
role because
have
Ray
to.
Stevenson passed. Yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a big it's a big cliffhanger what he's doing.
He was a big character in that in the first season. A really
Yeah,
big character.
yeah. So they're already talking about the possibility that what's calling him is Abeloth, is what's calling him. And
Hmm.
somebody actually made a little little fan edit of Baven Skull entering wherever Abeloth is at, where Abeloth's imprisoned, entering and Anakin Skywalker trying to stop him, talking to him about not doing it because he doesn't realize what he's about to unleash. And they actually have a conversation about, Anakin and the dark side and all that. And, because Baven hates Anakin. So
Yeah.
they actually have a conversation there about that. And he's telling him, this is not what you want to do. He was like, I went down the dark path before, and I'm trying to stop you from making that same choice. But it's a compelling story. There's lots of different theories out there, and hopefully, I'm not one of these people that are going to come out here and dog the Skeleton Crew. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give it a chance to see if it can take me. If I'm going to watch it and see if it can hook me in the first couple episodes. I'm not going to bury it. The Acolyte for me. And that's where a lot of people right now are kind of looking at Skeleton Crew like, well, I'm not watching it because
the Acolyte fucked up a lot of stuff.
that right there, that's what it did. Okay,
it did.
It just killed it killed whatever life support the fan base was on. So
you may actually have fans that will not like Skeleton Crew out of spite. That's totally a possibility.
We're at the apathy stage for Star Wars. It's like anything they put out, dude, it's like it's not gonna work. That's why people like myself, like I live in the OG prequel trilogy, the EU. That's where I'm at because there's just no saving the shit at this point because it's too damaged. When you killed off when you destroyed the legacy characters and then the new characters that you created didn't get over except maybe one Kylo Ren and barely. It just there's just no hope for this. I mean, you and I were talking about this before we started recording about what could possibly be the new hope for Star Wars. What can save it? My opinion is John Boyega and Finn. That is what can save Star Wars and bring it back to some type of prominence because they need to fix his story arc. And I mean, people are saying, okay, the Skywalkers, well, there are other Skywalkers besides Luke Skywalker, and Anakin. There's Jason Solo, there's Anakin Solo, there's Jaina Solo. There's a lot of different ways that we can do this. There's stories that can be told with characters. I don't know why Disney won't do something with the EU characters, but yet they're selling EU merchandise on a Disney store. Mara Jade, for instance. You know what I mean? Ben Skywalker. I mean, come on, people. So I mean, that's a kid that's Luke Skywalker's son, Ben. It's a kid he had with Mara Jade. I mean, there's lots of different stories that you can tell out there. Because I mean, people can say all damn day long, well, we got to move away from the Skywalkers. Well, unfortunately, the Skywalkers are Star Wars, whether people want to admit it or not. It is. There's lots of other different things that happen out there in the universe. Yes. We know this, but look what we saw in the Mandalorian Grogu, or the Mandalorian, I should say. What did we see at the end of season 2? We saw Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker, yep.
Because that's money. And at the end of the day, it's all about telling stories, but at the end of the day, too, it's all about making money. And they should be printing money. Star Wars should be printing money. Marvel should be printing money right now. And they're not, other than Deadpool Wolverine. But guess what? Deadpool Wolverine was pretty much, that was a Fox property. You feel me? That was brought over during Bob Chapek's tenure as the CEO of the Walt Disney Company when they acquired 20th Century Fox and made it 20th Century Studios. So that wasn't Iger that approved this shit. That was Bob Chapek. But that's a different story for a different day.
Yeah, I get that. But speaking of the Star Wars realm, I don't know if we should actually talk about this. We talked about it before the show. The runnings of Lucasfilm. Can you speak to that?
Yeah. So basically, and it's like there's people out there that got sources and cool. I got a source too that knows somebody over there, right? So from what I understand, basically Jon Favreau is the one that's running Lucasfilm at the moment. He is the one that's essentially doing the day to day. It's not Kathleen Kennedy.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau is running it. They actually want him to stay on. If you haven't heard this story or not, but they want him to stay on for 3 films. They want him to do 3 movies, which would be like what 10 years that this would have to happen in
Yeah,
because to get it done. So they want
at
him to
least
do
5.
this. Yeah, at least 5, but maybe 10, depending on how they stretch this out. So they want him to stick around for a little while to do this, and they're already talking about they're preparing for a post Kathleen Kennedy world at Lucasfilm, which I think is great. I think Kathy KK has just hindered Star Wars and just lots of bad ideas, lots of bad creative, too much messaging, not enough storytelling. It's what we have seen in Lucasfilm. So hopefully now, whenever this happens, and Kathleen Kennedy's contract is supposed to be coming up this month or so, we believe. They're talking about she could possibly be gone by March, April 2026, maybe in time for Celebration. Source told me that basically they wanted her to retire last year at Celebration, and they were going to give her a huge send off, and she didn't go for it. But it seems like now there's some other things, some other meddling going on inside of the Walt Disney Company, where the bean counters are really looking at the finances because the parks are not making money, and the entertainment aspect of the Walt Disney Company, Lucasfilm, 20th Century Studios, Marvel, those are just subsidiaries. But the bigger part of the pie is the parks. And right now, the parks are not making any money. The parks are damn near empty, and they're raising prices in an economy where you shouldn't be raising any prices, but everybody's doing that. We're going to get to that a little bit too when it relates to the WWE
Yep.
and their ticket prices. So it's just out of control right now with the price gouging. I mean, it's unbelievable. And Universal is on Disney's ass. Epic Universe opens May 2025. That's going to be humongous for them. That's going to be big. And there's talk of them possibly licensing other characters to bring them into Universal. Some
Hmm.
characters that Disney may have lost that they can get the rights to bring them into the park, possibly. Um,
I would love to know what characters.
yeah, I'll get back to you on that. But it's some characters, it's some characters that Disney lost the rights to that Universal could easily scoop up if they want to bring in the park, because that's what's going on. The parks are making money, and certain investment group is out there that's actually they're the ones running the show at Disney and telling them like, you need to fix this shit, bro, because we're not making
Yep.
money at the parks. We
Yep.
don't give a shit about Star Wars. We don't give a shit about Marvel. We do, but we really don't. We care about the parks. So fix the parks.
No, it makes all the sense. All the sense because
What
the
if I were to
biggest.
tell you? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, what if I was to tell you? I'm doing the Count Dooku from the Attack of the Clones when he's talking to Obi-Wan. What if I was to tell you that there was going to be a video game that was going to be centered around Rey Skywalker or Palpatine, and that was going to coincide with the movie, and that's something that Kathleen Kennedy had approved with an unnamed studio. But obviously, that's not going to happen now.
Yeah.
But at one point, it was because for some reason she thought that people would be interested in seeing or playing, I should say, a Rey Skywalker video game. No.
I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't know how I feel about that. Because on one hand, the Star Wars franchise outside of the one Cal's in,
Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order.
yeah, outside of those, it's iffy. And I know they had the Outlaws, the game came
Oh,
out on
biggest
Ubisoft.
flop. Flop,
Yeah,
flop,
yeah.
flop.
They had that come out, didn't do too well. Star Wars gaming franchise, they need to move away from EA. They do. They tried to go with Ubisoft with Outlaws. It played better, but the story wasn't as the gameplay itself wasn't bad. the story wasn't good. So they need to figure out a studio that will get them right, and which is weird because Ubisoft really does have good storytelling with its games. It's just the
Mm.
franchise itself is
Shoot.
kind of worn out its welcome, especially with the Call of Duty franchise. It,
Yeah.
it has worn out its welcome. So I would like to see them get with maybe an Unreal Engine and create a game and have some of those storytelling traits. You can connect it to whatever you're doing with the movies and the television. I would love to see them do something like that. Or whoever's making the Fallen Order and Survivor games, like they
Mm.
just need to take over the gaming because those two games are fucking phenomenal.
So yeah. So there is going to be a uh third Jedi Survivor game.
Mm,
They are working on that. Um, so far, EA has done a tremendous job with those games. They're allowed to do pretty much what they want within the
right.
parameters of what they get to work with. Ubisoft is a whole different story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ubisoft, I don't know if you're aware of this or not. Ubisoft is damn near out of business at this point. Um, they Ubisoft um, Star Wars Outlaws was a flop. It sold 50% 50% or less of what Jedi Fallen Order sold. It is a flop. It's the most money they spent marketing a video game, and they're not getting a return.
Yep.
Um, it's I'm understanding it sold about maybe 1 million copies is how much it sold. There's
Oh,
nobody playing it on Steam.
yep.
It's bad. The other game they were
It's
going to come
bad.
out to, what was it called? Assassin's Creed Shadows. Um, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the situation with that, with the Black Samurai Yasuke.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, so they pushed that game back till February after tremendous backlash about that game. Um,
I don't understand why there was backlash against that. Just because it was it because of the Black Samurai?
it was because they created this. They went out and told this story that was not historically accurate, and they tried to pass it off like it was historically accurate. And what people wanted was they wanted kind of like a Japanese character in feudal Japan because that's where it's set. And
Okay.
they did this, and people won't rock with it. And then I guess there were a lot of Japanese flags and symbols and stuff in the game that weren't supposed to be. It was a tremendous, just tremendous nightmare for Ubisoft to the point where they're damn near out of business. That's how bad it is. They're damn near out of business. Um, there's just so much. There's so much turmoil right now in the video game industry as it relates to, once again, messaging and agendas and not storytelling and entertaining and selling copies of games. This is where we're at right now, and we saw that with the failure of Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, and how that flopped, and how Rocksteady is on
That
life
game
support.
just wasn't good. Like a lot of
Yeah,
these games, like especially the Call of Duty franchise, like
yeah,
they've gotten lazy. Video game makers have gotten lazy. They've gotten, excuse me, they've gotten to the point where they make a good game and it's copy and paste into the next one. That's the issue. Like you can't just copy paste and then you don't give us anything extra on that. One big problem that I had with the Halo franchise is that they were copying. They've been doing stuff like this since like 2005. It's like you copy and paste, and you tell me that it's updated. Well, after so long, like you can only remake Call of Duty the same way, maybe twice before people are like, I don't want to play this shit anymore. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's like, I think outside of the Fallen Order and Survivor, like Star Wars is falling into that pattern too. It's like we're gonna copy and paste and hope you guys pick it up, but you don't give us any substance. Like, if you're gonna give us agenda, like give us substance, man. Like, or if you're gonna do like what they did with Assassin's Creed, at least try to make it historically accurate. I have heard of Black Samurais, but my history on that is really fuzzy. Now, if you could tell me something that I can go look at it and be like, okay, that's historically accurate. I didn't do that with this one because honestly, I forgot about it. I forgot it
Yeah,
was even coming out. So
yeah. Some professor who said that this was all legit, right? Well, he came out that he was lying about all this shit, and it caused a big uproar. And once again, it's like people just were not feeling just a it's just they didn't want a black samurai in Japan. If you're in Japan, you want to play as a kind of like a Japanese character. Just like if you have, because we've had African characters playing in Africa. You know what I mean? Like you can do those type of things. That's kind of what people were going with here, and they give you the complete opposite of what you want because it's once again, man, it's that agenda. They have to. It's a checkbox. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing now. That's what I'm getting at here. That's what's going on in entertainment, and that's why the game industry is failing right now. That's what it all it coincides here. Once again, we were talking about you know DEI, and it's what's killing the industries. That's what's going on here. It's that, and you can't. And I'm talking about Walt Disney Company. You can't be pushing DEI and talking about you're trying to be the savior of all people, but yet you shrunk John Boyega's picture for China on the Force Awakens poster. You can't do that. So that's my feeling on that shit, man. It's like just give me a good game and I'll play the damn game. That's all I'm talking about. And
right.
we're seeing that with the copy and pasting shit. Yeah, man. It's like I was playing WWE 2K24 the other day, and I was bored out of my mind because
Yeah.
it's literally the same shit. It's just a fresh coat of paint. It is what it is, and I'm like,
Yep.
why do I keep buying this shit every year? Because
I
I'm
stopped.
literally
I
bored, bro.
stopped.
Yeah, I'm
I
literally
stopped.
bored out of my mind. I was playing the story. I finally got to playing the story mode, and I'm like, this is the worst damn story that I've ever played. Like this
Yep.
shit is whack, dude. Like I mean, it was trash. So I'm kind of
Yeah,
like, okay,
they're all the same. Like, there's no difference between WWE 2K24 and WWE 2K12. There's no difference
I don't know about that.
except the graphics. Everything else is pretty much the same.
Well, the graphics are better, the roster's better, the moves are better.
Well,
It's a lot.
yeah, they're
I'm not gonna say
changes,
all
but
that.
the
Yeah,
gameplay is exactly the same.
I'm not gonna agree with that. The gameplay is different. They've advanced the gameplay a lot since WWE 12. But
How?
uh, well, dude, look, I mean, they had to create a whole new engine for the game because of 2K. What was it? They were gonna come out with 2K20. What was it? 2K21, and then you come out
Oh,
with
you talking about 2K20? Okay, I'll
yeah,
give you that. So
yeah,
2K20 to 2K21 was a big change. You're right.
yeah. I don't even think we had 2K21. I think they took the year off
Yeah, you're right. So
because it
22.
was screwed. Yeah. So
Yeah,
22 came back.
22.
They built a whole new engine, and it looks better, plays better, but it's just boring. There's just nothing to it. It's like with Star Wars games. Like they were supposed to do a remaster of Knights of the Old Republic, and we didn't get it. And then they were supposed to do Star Wars Eclipse, and we didn't get it.
Yep.
And like
Knights of
what
the
happened to
Old
Battle?
Republic would have been a
Oh hell
remake of
yeah,
that game. Hell yeah.
yeah.
That game was
Well,
hard as fuck.
and what happened to Battlefront 3? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm talking about. Like they're just they should be printing. I'm gonna say we. Well, I ain't getting none of the money. They should be printing money out the ass, and they're not. So I don't know, man.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. Most definitely agree. All right, let's switch gears for a moment. Before we go to the main event, let's go to the wrestling world. Now,
Yeah, right.
the bloodline storyline is heating up.
Whoa, hold on. Before we
Hold
get
on.
to the bloodline,
I know. Let me walk us
I'm
there.
not talking about the bloodline.
I know. We're gonna pivot off of what I'm getting at. So
Okay. Mm,
Jey Uso looks like he's going there, but we recently saw him lose the Intercontinental Championship.
yep.
Somebody who was very adamant that this was going to happen was Vince Russo. And come to
Mm-hmm.
find out, he was right. Now, him and
Mm-hmm.
Rikishi had some words.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
So I am. Anybody who listens to this podcast knows I am a Russo guy.
I've become a Russo guy.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm a
not
Vince
gonna lie to
Russo
you.
guy.
I've
Yeah.
become a Russo guy. I don't know if it's the older I get, the more sense he makes to me. But the more I listen to him, the more I be like, he's really saying some real shit. People just don't like his delivery, but he be saying some real shit a
Well, I
lot of the
mean,
time.
I'm not going to come up here and say that all of Russo's ideas were gold and great. They were not. They
Exactly.
weren't. But I will give the man, he tried a lot of different things.
And
And
I'll give him this too. From what I've seen out of him, he has never ran from his felt. He's open. He'll tell you, like, the shit didn't work. If it didn't work, it didn't work.
yeah. So I'm a Russo guy. Interviewed the guy twice on a previous podcast. So I mean, Russo's a real cool guy. And I agree with him about the prop versus title thing. I'm in agreement with that. It's a
Yep.
prop.
Yep.
Um, so I get the entire argument, and look, we're just people out there will say, "Oh, you guys are just fans and marks, whatever." Mark these nuts. Here's the thing: it's a prop. It's no different than if you're watching a TV show and somebody has a prop gun, or you're in there in the kitchen and there's fruit there or a bowl or whatever. Those are props. Same thing. It's to advance the story, right? So that's what this was done here, to advance the story. The only thing that I got a problem with this situation is, okay, and this is something that Russo brought up, which another guy's smart and hilarious. He brought this up. So all of a sudden now, Jey Uso loses the Intercontinental Championship. That's supposed to bring him back to the bloodline, but yet you watched your cousin get his ass beat by four guys, and your brother get his ass beat, and that does nothing. But you lose the championship, and that's going to bring you to join up with them. You know what I would have done, bro? This is what
Hmm.
I would have done. So we bring in Rikishi into the storyline. Rikishi is the only one that can try to talk some sense into the boys, his sons. All right. And
Mm.
Rikishi comes on SmackDown. Rikishi comes out there and he's in the ring with Solo and the Tongans and Jacob. And he's trying to talk some sense into him and try to bring the family together. And Solo is kind of thinking like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling you, pops. I'm digging it, but you need to acknowledge me as the tribal chief. So Solo is like the power is getting to his head. He's like, this now he's power hungry. And Solo does the unthinkable. Solo attacks Rikishi.
Oh,
Solo
I
attacks Rikishi, and that is what finally gets Jay to say, okay, now it's on. That attacking the father. Now you got my cousin Roman, you got my brother, but dude, you attacked our father. Oh, you've gone too far. Now it's on. Now it's on. That's what I would have done. You would have basically he would have took spiked him, and maybe Jacob Fatu splash him, whatever. That would have been the thing. That would have been the catalyst. That emotional investment would be there for Jay to come out and say, okay, I'm going to stand with these guys. Even though if I don't agree with him, we family. And look what this guy has done. This guy attacked our father. You know what I'm saying? No, this can't go on. That's what I would have done. Not have him come back and say, okay, I'm going to join him now because of the prop.
here's where I was agreeing with with what you're saying. But something interesting happened during that match to where I don't think Jay is going to be with his brother in Roman. So if you go back and watch that match, if you look at what Braun was doing when he went to spear him, Solo pushed Jay out of the way and took the spear. That's going to count for something. And the fact that Jacob didn't attack until it was like, all right, he's not with us clearly. We're going to make the choice for him. I don't think he's going to be so quick because Solo actually saved him. Yes, he lost his championship in the end. It's Jacob's fault. He does not like Jacob. But one of two things are set up in play for me to be like, okay, something's going to happen. Either Jay is going to reconcile with Solo and he joins that tribe, or they're going to kick Solo out. The seeds have been planted for something. And we've talked about it on this show before to where Solo is the last remaining member of the original bloodline in the new form of the bloodline. So I could definitely see a scenario to where there's a crack. And Jacob is the perfect candidate to lead the new form of the bloodline. And we may get a new member, i.e. Hikuleo. So the fact that they put a lot of this stuff in play during that match, yes, I agree with you. It was I don't want to call it a prop, but it's a prop to get the story to where it needed to get to. Because with that, you got Roman being proud of him. Roman actually saying like, "Hey, I'm happy for you." He's trying to make amends. And then that happens. So Friday is going to be a really interesting night. It's going to be a really interesting night. I'm actually excited to watch it, but I think they did put a lot of shit in play on Monday to where like, damn it, this story, every time you think the bloodline story is done, they just keep it, they inject something new into it.
Yeah, we're basically seeing NWO Black and White versus NWO Wolfpack at this point. That's what we're seeing. That's how I look at this. But except it's being done correctly. That's what I'll say with that. So I don't think Jay is going to join the bloodline. I don't see it happening. Jay is too over with the yeet to turn him and have him reconcile with Solo. That's not going to happen. Solo, in my opinion, the foreseeable future is going to be the tribal chief. They've invested too much into Solo to be the tribal chief for him to be removed at this point. If that happens, it ain't going to be until next year. It's not going to happen now. It's just too much investment there, too much story there. For all of a sudden for Solo to be kicked out, and then Jacob is fine where he is as the enforcer for right now. The thing with Solo is, I don't know, Solo is missing something when he's out there. Like, for some reason, I don't take Solo serious as the guy, as the tribal chief. Solo was a lot more menacing and intimidating when he was standing behind Roman with his arms crossed like Taz.
He's too loud.
Yeah, it could be that.
He's too loud.
And it's just like something about the delivery with the promos. It's like, it just doesn't, like, you're out there, like he's in the ring with Jay. The delivery should have been more like a prick. You know what I mean? It should have been more like the delivery should have been stronger than what we got. The delivery really should have been, first of all, stop calling me your little brother. I am the tribal chief now. You need to acknowledge me. Something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that because it didn't hit. It didn't hit for me. But Solo, Solo was way more menacing when his tone is like even kill, right? Because you can be animated, and which Solo really isn't that animated. It kind of seems forced. You know what I mean? If you could look at him and be on some serious shit, like, hey, little brother, look, man, I'm not your little brother. You're gonna stop calling me that. Some along those lines, to where I could feel the sincerity. Like, look, stop calling me that shit. I'm not your little brother.
The only thing I felt out of that segment, honestly, is when Jay says, "Why did you have to get them? Why did you have to get Tama? Why did you have to get Tonga? Why did you have to get Jacob? There's a reason why we stay away from him.
Yep.
And if you keep looking at me like that, I'm gonna knock your ass out." That was fire right there.
Yes.
And Jacob, first of all, they're having a time in their lives, dude.
Hell
Jacob,
yeah.
they're having a time in their lives, man. And the way he sold that, Jacob, like when you look at Jacob, you honestly think he's gonna kill you. Because that's what he gets. Because he's been in like he's a felon. He's been in prison. He's legit. So he's like, just let me tell you, the way they have built this group up here with the Tongans, with Jacob, like, these are the outlaw bloodline members that you don't mess with. This is the criminal side of the bloodline.
Yeah, these
you know
are
what I'm
all
saying?
the cousins that you don't really want at the cookout, but they
Exactly.
gotta be there.
Right. So that's the part of the story that I'm liking. It's just, I wish Solo would just be more intimidating, more darker with his delivery. They need a wise man, is what they need. They need somebody to that can cut a promo, that can talk for them. I honestly think at some point, dude, I'm predicting this will happen. I think Heyman's going to turn. He's going to turn to that part of the bloodline. I believe it is.
I believe he is. But here's the thing, though. If Heyman turns, who's he going to be the wise man for? Is it going to be for Solo?
I think it would be for Solo, or it's going to be for Cody Rhodes. Because there's another story going on here. There's another story going on here. The story of Kevin Owens, okay? I'm not a Kevin Owens fan at all. I don't like Kevin Owens. But I find the story interesting because Kevin Owens is pretty much playing the role of, there's this Cody Rhodes here. There's something about this guy that I don't trust.
This motherfucker is not who he says
he is. Exactly. And he's up here. He's up here helping. Like, it's something I think you posted in the fan group earlier. This guy broke it down about, like, Randy Orton and shit, and just it makes sense that Cody is manipulating things from behind the scenes, and if right now with Roman Reigns as a baby face, he doesn't need Paul Heyman. He doesn't need him. That him having Paul Heyman because of the history there, that would be like, okay, heel Roman Reigns. Roman has surpassed it now. Roman is actually treating Jimmy with respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's dapping it up with Jimmy. They never did that before. He's like, it's cool and refreshing to see from a story perspective. Did you see the break moment with Jey Uso on that, in that segment? So when they get out the car and they're listening to that god awful song they're listening to, and they come walking up. So Jay's walking up, and Jimmy's like, "Oh snap! Look at him!" But Jimmy looks so fucking stupid all the time. Jay can't stop smiling. If you notice this, he's walking up smiling like he wants to laugh. He can't hold it in.
Yeah.
But then he looks at Roman and it goes, "Wait, that was a break." That's what it was. That was straight up break. A break. Yeah. So, there's those little things there. But yeah. So Kevin Owens is telling that story over there. I think that, we're going to get the eventual Cody Rhodes heel turn. I think I told you in a message that I believe that WrestleMania next year in Vegas, we're going to probably see The Rock perform, but I believe we're going to see the ending of the trilogy. We're going to see Cody Roman Part 3. This time, it's going to be Cody turning heel. The whole plan is going to come out. The double turn, exactly. Yeah. Well, not even a double turn, because
Roman is
a babyface. Roman's a babyface.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Roman dropped a line that really made me like pause real quick. When he was like, I told my dad I can fix this. And the fact that his dad in real life passed away, it brings me back to Cody Rhodes when he first came back to WWE. Why did he come back? He tried to finish a story that his dad never got to. He was doing stuff for his dad. Like those parallels are fucking crazy similar to where now Roman is having to repair the bloodline because he told his dad he would. And it kind of mirrors the fact that Cody is in this position because he wanted to do something for his dad. He told his dad, I'm going to win this belt and I'm going to bring it back to you. He never got that chance. If Roman fixes the bloodline, he will do so without his dad being here to see him do it. Like the parallel is insane. And I really do hope that they find a way to inject more of that into the storyline, because Roman's whole purpose was to stop Cody from doing that. So if Cody goes heel, his purpose will be to stop Roman from reuniting the bloodline the way it was. And that would be on a lot of levels insane.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's so many different ways that they can go with the story. And then The Rock, what is he playing to this?
Right.
Hikuleo, we know he's coming.
Yep.
Possibility Zilla Fatu gets signed and comes aboard this storyline.
Yep.
What happens if they get a Nia Jax goes after a Naomi Trinity? Nia joins Solo's bloodline, the first female member of the bloodline. There's so many different ways that they can take this story and keep it going. They can keep this story going for another 10 years, bro, because there's so much storytelling you can do there. Like I said before, it's the NWO versus NWO done correctly, because you got one side to come out, they throw up the ones, and then you got Roman, they throw up the one. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. So I'm with it. But also, let me bring up some other stuff that's going on right quick in the WWE that I'm intrigued with. The Xavier Woods heel turn continues. I'm all for it. I think
slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely, yeah, I'm all for it. And the rumor of Big E coming out there, I don't know if Big E could. If I don't think he can do it, I would be like, if Big E could take a bump, I'd have Xavier hit him or something that to solidify.
Imagine the heat he would
Yeah.
get.
Yeah, exactly. Solidify that shit as like, okay,
Yeah,
Xavier
that'd be
is yeah.
monster. Monster.
Yeah. Karrion Kross. Finally a story that Karrion Kross can sink his teeth into with Y6. And the Miz kind of, if you saw the promo I saw backstage, the Miz is kind of being held hostage here by the Final Testament. And Karrion told him, yeah, you don't understand. My guy took a bump, a bump for you. We're talking about Paul Ellering.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of stuck. There is no. It's either you escape through them or you escape through us. That's kind of where they're going. So I'm digging the story. I'm intrigued on where they're going to go with this. Raquel Rodriguez is just not working for me. She looks like, honestly, the Temu version of Rhea Ripley. Yeah. I don't need two Rheas. I got one. So I don't get it. I'm not feeling it.
I think
the story is starting to lose some of his. The story is losing its luster to me, honestly.
Yeah, you're right.
They should never have brought her. They should never have brought Raquel into this. Like, you already had Dominic there.
Once she got, I don't know. It's not necessarily injured, but once she left,
yeah,
because her and Rhea were in like this thing together.
Yeah,
but once she left and kind of took that hiatus, Liv ascended. And you gotta keep riding the hot hand there. And I think her coming back kind of is cooling Liv off a little bit.
No, it has, and like it's cool and live off, and any interaction that Rhea has with even with Dom, it just doesn't feel the same anymore. Like
Right.
it's like
Right.
this story is dragging now. It's like if you wanted to say move her away, like first of all, Raquel should not even be with Liv, or I mean, if they were going to do because essentially when I look at this, when I look at Raquel with Liv, Morgan, and Dominic, I see Camille with Mercedes in AEW. That's what
Right.
I'm looking at here. You know,
Right. Which
so
Raquel, if you really wanted to do the right way to do this is you have Liv, you have Rhea chasing after Liv, but you also have the big bad standing on her own, Raquel coming after Rhea. Because
yeah,
you don't need her in the story to be a threat to Rhea. You know what I mean? Like she left, her and Rhea were in a thing. She's back. She's just an added threat. Now you have an attack on Rhea from two different fronts, two different stories that she's got to maintain. You know what I mean? You could have made that work, but her in the Judgment Day, I don't feel it. I'm not
that's what I'm
feeling
saying.
it.
It's like it's you're literally trying to have her cosplay as Rhea Ripley. That's all you're
Right,
doing,
right,
and she's just not there. Um, and just she's no energy. I don't know what her character is supposed to be at this point. Okay, she's the heel. Okay, cool. There's nothing there. No kind of facials, no emotions, nothing. It's just that doesn't work, man. It's like you're not. You're not. I can't even say you're China because you can't be China because China showed damn emotion. China knew how to go out there and work. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And Rhea, if you want to talk about, you know, China is. I mean, Rhea is that now. I can say Rhea is a 10th wonder of the world at this point because she is that. You know, Rhea
Yep,
is that. She's a force to be reckoned with. You know,
yep.
she's built that. You know,
I will give Raquel this. She's been gone for a while, and maybe she does need the reps to like get her in a groove and you know what I mean, get established again. That's incredibly hard too, but just I think they did her a little bit of a disservice by throwing her in the Judgment Day.
I think they did her a disservice by putting her in this storyline. Period. Like she should never have been in this.
Agreed. Agreed.
That's the finalization of the Liv Morgan Dom storyline with Rhea should have been ended at Bad Blood. That should have been the
Correct.
culmination of that. This should not be
Correct.
going on past this point. Not all stories need to drag out for 6 months and whatever. We don't need to have this.
Yeah,
Um,
you could have either did that. You could have had her if she was gonna do that at Bad Blood, then it needs to be her and Rhea.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like that
Yeah.
should have been it. Like if she could have came out at the end and attacked, not even had anything to do with Dom or Liv. They could have done
Right.
that part and moved on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, let's switch over real quick to AEW.
Okay.
I watched two segments from Dynamite that I thought were very interesting. First of all, I got to give it up to my man Shelton Benjamin. My God, that
Bro.
match he had with Leo Rush. My God, did you hear the pop when Shelton came out there when
Yeah.
his music when his name appeared on the screen on the Tron?
Yeah.
I mean, they about to rock it with the Hurt Syndicate and AEW. Just don't mess it up, man. Like, just don't have Shelton Benjamin be the new toy of the week, and then in a couple weeks he means nothing. Don't do that.
So he annihilated Sammy Guevara. Annihilated him. And it was pretty much on the strength of what he did with Leo Rush.
Yeah,
They have him looking really strong.
yeah.
That group. So afterwards, after that, Ricochet cut a promo
Oh, really?
on Konosuke Takeshita.
Mm.
And I guess they did something with Maple Leaf Pro over the weekend. Both of them were at that show. And MVP comes up to Ricochet. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And gives him the card. I said, okay. And Ricochet looked at him like he was going to consider it. So if we do get a heel Ricochet in the Hurt Syndicate, I might be for this shit.
Dude, I would be down straight up I would be down with Shelton. I would be down with Ricochet. I'd be down with Leo Rush. Obviously, Bobby Lashley. And you can add a Powerhouse Hobbs in when he comes back.
Yep.
That's a Hurt Syndicate. I would be
Yep.
down with that. I think that's what Leo Rush's point is going to be in. Like, he's going to join the faction. Leo Rush has history with Bobby Lashley. He's to
So
manage
does
Bobby Lashley.
Ricochet. Ricochet
Correct.
has history with him too.
So you can build a dominant faction here. So I'm very interested to see where this goes. And Shelton Benjamin's, I am very critical when it comes to entrance music. I'm digging Shelton's
Oh
music. It's
yes,
fire.
yes. Yo,
That
he cut
that
a he
that
cut
is
a
fire.
great promo too.
Yeah, Shelton is really
He
gotten
cut a
good on the mic.
Yes, he cut a phenomenal promo. He was like, "Listen, we ain't here to make friends. We here to crack heads. We here to get money, and we out. That's
Yep.
our mission."
Yep.
Like, I'm like, I am here for this shit, bro. I'm
what
here
you
for
think?
all of it.
So what do you think's happening when they finally bring in Bobby Lashley?
I like that they haven't yet.
Yeah.
I love that they haven't brought him in yet.
Full Gear?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I would wait until Full Gear. You can wait until Full Gear.
Yeah. Yeah,
I would
most
do that.
definitely.
And
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if you're building up Shelton, let Shelton rock. And the first instance that where his back is up against the wall, you bring in Bobby.
Yeah. But we don't need to see Shelton's back against the wall for a while.
We don't. But that's what I'm saying. The first instance, because they have him, bro. It warms my heart what they're doing with this man right now.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the ring with Shelton Benjamin, he's going to fuck you up. I love it.
Well, he's going to fuck you up, and it's also going to make you look good at the same time. You know what I mean? And that's what it came down to. Leo Rush gave Shelton a match because Leo Rush he's very, very good at taking good bumps and making it look good. And Shelton was doing some stuff there I haven't seen Shelton do in years. He was out there busting out moves. This guy's damn near 50 years old. He's out there busting moves like that. You feel me?
Yep.
So I'm all for it. The other story that's going on, the BBC, or BCC, I should say, BBC, BCC. I listened to Cornet; they call it the BBC. So this is a very intriguing story as well, because somebody has a theory out there that they believe that Jack Perry may be secretly infiltrating the elite.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that theory.
I like the idea. I like that. I like that. I like the idea of that. Because what you're going to actually end up doing, if that's the case, you're going to end up having to turn the Bucks babyface again.
Yep.
You're going to have to turn Okada babyface, which he should have been a face this entire time any damn way.
Yep.
Yeah. Now,
the interesting part of that happened last week when they came out and they were beating everybody down and the Young Bucks were on the ramp and like they were genuinely like, should we actually go help these motherfuckers? And Jack Perry was like, nah, let's go. And then they left. Like you could see the gears turning in their heads like, we shouldn't be letting this shit go down. But we're not the good guys.
Well, here's a problem with this. But here's the problem with the story. So essentially, you have the BCC doing what the Elite were doing. Remember, the Elite came back and said we have to save AEW. And so that's essentially now what the BCC is doing, which is we're taking over. You know, we're working for someone. They have not say who they're working for yet. They holding the belt hostage. They roll around in pickup trucks and shit. So there's something going on here. They haven't revealed what it is yet.
They haven't revealed who's been driving the truck.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think that's Shane McMahon's style, to be honest.
Unless he's incognito.
Yeah, well. But I do remember a segment backstage not too long ago that I saw on YouTube where Mr. Moxley was putting over Jack Perry to his face.
I don't care what anybody says. You're a sweet kid.
Yeah. So they let you know right there. They let you know right there. That's the infiltrator. And this is what's going down. And yeah, we're going to probably end up seeing some kind of reveal here coming up at Full Gear. AEW better push the shit out of this. I'm telling you.
They
Better
need
push
to.
the shit out of this.
They need to.
Because you got something here that's keeping people interested.
Yep.
Do not screw it up. Now, I'm going to tell you what doesn't make sense to me now. Now we're going to go into a different tangent.
Okay.
The Adam Cole MJF story makes no damn sense.
I didn't see it because I was setting up the show. And when I started setting up the show, they had Adam Cole and the Undisputed Kingdom. And it looked like they got back together. And if that's true, they listened. And I think there may have been a correction tonight. But I
don't know how you can correct that because Adam Cole's a babyface. MJF's a heel.
Yes, but I think they may have done a role reversal in a way that it made sense. I have to watch the segment. Because what I saw was what I wanted to see.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know about that one because you can't.
Fucked up the moment Adam Cole came back and he was going after MJF. You fucked up right then. But I can see them trying to backtrack and make this right in a way that it makes sense. The problem is you've already had Cole go after MJF when he didn't need to. That was the issue. So who knows? Because the way that story ended was Adam Cole was the devil.
Exactly.
The Undisputed Kingdom were the people who were jumping MJF. MJF should totally be the face in this.
That's what I'm saying. They made a mistake when they turned MJF heel. People were digging MJF. He was, I mean, it's just, why go against the grain? You could have eventually turned him heel again after the story with Cole concluded. So they made a mistake with that. I don't care what anybody says. That's like when Stone Cold Steve Austin turned heel at WrestleMania 17. It was a mistake. This is a mistake. I don't give a damn what anybody says. It was a mistake. Cole was the devil. Cole should have came back as the devil and continued the story with MJF. So I'm not feeling it. It's just that's a big continuity issue for me right there. Like it makes no damn sense.
I get it. It's a glaring mistake. That is a glaring mistake.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're trying to right the wrong.
I'll have to check it out.
I gotta watch to see how far they went with it. But I
gotta look at it.
I did see they tried to at least explain how they got here. I just don't know if they explained it in a way that it made sense.
Yeah, I got to check it out on YouTube later just to see that particular segment and see what they did there. Because it's just that's a big no. That's
that's a big one. That is a big one.
Because that was one of your major stories, and you know, I mean, damn, Adam Cole was injured, so they couldn't really pull the trigger on it the way they wanted to. But still, like, you shouldn't even went that far.
Right.
Should have just waited. There's plenty of people that MJF could have worked with until Cole got healthy enough to come back and do what he did. And why is MJF running from Adam Cole? He left him laying the last time they were in the ring together.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, I don't know. This doesn't make any sense.
Correct.
It's like
very much correct.
It's like a certain Star Wars show out there that has fucking Obi-Wan leaving Luke on Tatooine by himself with no protection. That would never have happened. But I digress.
Oh man! Speaking of Star Wars, let's go back. Let's end this show on a high note. Let's go to our main event. Now, we put up a post, very much what if type of post.
Yeah.
And we said what would happen if these two individuals face each other. Well,
Right.
I'm gonna bring this up and see if we can debate this in a way that would make sense. And the matchup is, ladies and gentlemen, what would happen if Yoda was a Sith and embraced his dark side, fighting an Anakin Skywalker who had reached his full potential? Frank D, I'm gonna open this up to you, sir. The floor is yours.
So I am, even as Dark Side Yoda, mighty powerful Jedi's. It is. Um, I'm going to go with Anakin. The reason why is because Anakin had more midichlorians
Midichlorians. Yep.
than Yoda. And this is full potential Anakin. Mind you, in Revenge of the Sith, when he was fighting Obi-Wan, Anakin went up to, I think, a 9 on the power level. He went from a 7 to a 9 when he was fighting Obi-Wan. So, and that's not even full potential, bro. That's just during that fight. He hadn't even reached full potential yet of the dark side. And he had went up from a 7 to a 9. So, full potential Anakin, I'm going to go Anakin all day long. Even with the power of Yoda as a potential dark side Sith user, Anakin's the chosen one. He has more midichlorians than Yoda. Means he's more powerful than Yoda. Even if Yoda is touching the dark side, I'm going full potential Anakin.
Okay. Here is where these are what ifs, because my brain automatically goes Anakin as well. Does he have his full limbs? Because the midichlorian count drops if he doesn't have all of his limbs, correct?
Yeah, he lost he lost his power for premonitions and shit when he lost his limbs. Yeah, he did. See, he was heavily damaged. But from what I'm looking here, the picture here is Anakin Skywalker
If
full.
it's full
Anakin,
potential, yes.
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So yeah. So I'm yeah. Even saying that, because remember, okay, this might sound stupid, but it'll make sense in a second. So remember when on Mustafar, that's not Anakin fighting Obi-Wan. That's Vader fighting Obi-Wan.
Okay.
So you don't see Anakin's full potential at that point. You see Vader's full potential. The moment that in there when he chopped
He's
off,
leading with hatred.
he
Yes.
right exactly. So that's no longer Anakin Skywalker anymore. That is Darth Vader. The moment he took the mantle of Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker was no more. That was done. So that's why I hear this was a what if scenario. I'm picking Skywalker because this is Anakin no dark side, nothing, just full potential Jedi, Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one. I'm picking them all day long.
Okay. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a minute, because Yoda did fight a version of himself that it embraced the dark side and it terrified him. So would a Yoda embracing the dark side be more powerful than a Jedi Yoda? Or would you say because of the midichlorians, because Sith really do on average have a higher midichlorian count. So does that go up because he's leading with more emotions, or does his midichlorian count stay the same?
I think the count stays the same. It's just the philosophy and the way you use the force changes. Because You know, I mean,
True.
essentially the Force is just essentially the dark side is basically. So, not trying to get religious here, but essentially the dark side is basically the devil. It's that's what it is. It's evil. It's temptation.
Right.
Anakin was lured with temptation to save his wife, but he also was lured by the possibility of ruling the galaxy, corruption, more power, order in the galaxy. That's what was fueling him. Um,
But
Yoda,
we've. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, yeah, no, I was just gonna say Yoda is he was fighting a vision of himself, and it terrified him. Well, I mean, there you go. If Yoda is scared, I mean that's intriguing. I mean, how
Yeah.
powerful is that being?
Right.
But at the same time, that's just something that Yoda envisioned. We know Anakin it was the
Actually
legit the
became that.
chosen one. Correct.
But we've
Yes.
never seen him reach his full potential either.
No, we have. Yeah, that's correct. We have not because the moment he chopped off Mace Windu's hand and became Vader, that was it. We didn't see Anakin's full potential. We're seeing Anakin's full potential now, but in the Force realm. You know,
Right.
we're seeing
Right.
it now, but not at. So this is a hard one because of the fact that the moment he becomes Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker ceases to exist.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, you go from a 7 to a 9 when you're fighting. It's pretty powerful shit. And that's why if you would have had if let's just put it like this, if you would have had Anakin versus Yoda in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin would have destroyed Yoda because Anakin would have went to a 10. He would have got to that level had he not messed up in the fight with Obi-Wan where he lost his limbs. He got too cocky in that shit. That's what
Right.
did it. He got too arrogant in that. He got cocky. He tried to do the same move to Obi-Wan that Obi-Wan did to Maul. That's when Obi-Wan said, "Don't try it." That's what he meant by "don't try it" because he
I
was
have a
trying to
high ground. Yeah.
replicate that. Yeah, he was trying to replicate the move he did in the Phantom Menace. So yeah, but dude, listen, I'm a Anakin Mark, so so I'm going with Anakin.
I want to go with Anakin, but at the same time, Yoda drawing from rage is something that's very intriguing for me because he's powerful as a Jedi in control. Imagine Yoda with no control and no morals. It's kind of terrifying, man.
No,
Because-
it that's what I'm saying. It is. It's terrifying enough that it scared him. So
Right,
I get that part. But it's just like that is something that's one is a vision, the other one is reality.
right,
So
correct.
that's what I'm getting at. That's why I'm saying like that's why it's like it's cool. It's a whatever. It's just it's hard because like I said, we all know this is fictional shit, but we're just talking. Um, you know, Anakin was real in that
Right,
universe. He
right,
was the chosen one. Yoda, I mean, the way they say he's like, he has more midichlorians than Master Yoda. That you ain't touching this guy. I mean, he was more powerful than anybody on the Jedi Council,
correct,
and he
correct.
was not a master. That's what I'm saying. That's like there's no beating Anakin, especially if Anakin, full potential Anakin Skywalker, full potential Jedi master, he would beat Yoda. I'm sorry, he would. He would beat Darkside Yoda. He would. He would dominate Darkside Yoda.
You dominate.
Hell yeah.
All right. All right. I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna put up a poll, and
Okay.
I'll leave this for our followers to decide. But this was a very hard choice for me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man,
Interesting though.
very interesting. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Final thoughts. What you got?
Final thoughts. Final thoughts are we're gonna be trying some new things here on the show as we show tonight. We doing some sample things here. We're talking entertainment. We're talking wrestling. We're doing some what ifs here. So we're gonna be doing a lot of different things coming up in the future. not just us, but the entire DFPN family as a whole. We got some big plans, and we got places that we want to go to.
Absolutely.
So expect some changes here. We're going to continue to rock what we're doing here. Continue to put out the best content that we possibly can here on the DFPN. That's what we do on No Gimmicks, and just not us, but Queens of Nerdum, Smoke Pit, USDN, everybody. We're all doing our shit. And we've had a very good 2024, and we will have an even bigger 2025. And that's pretty much what we're going. And other than that, man, the usual shtick. Help control the pet population, have your pets spayed or neutered. Long live the Empire. Let's see. Want to send a shout out to the homies from the Imperial Remnants. Send a what's up to the 501st. Captain Rex and the boys. That's pretty much it. Oh yeah, want to send a shout out to the homie Michael Myers out in Haddonfield. Yeah, I mean that's it, man. That's all I got.
Word. On that note, next week I do have a second show planned for next week, and that is it's strictly going to be the Crown Jewel prediction show. So that's in addition to another No Gimmicks episode. So I do want to do a prediction show for that. I do want to invite some people to come through that I've been working with and introduce them to the No Gimmicks audience. And just have a nice panel, not too long of a panel, something that we can knock out these predictions and see who's right. But other than that, DFPN spooky season still in effect. Go check out the website. We have all of our content loaded up to the website. These shows are dropping as we speak. We did a network show that will be dropping. Queens of Nerdum is dropping. Fallen Star Fridays are still a thing. Smoke Pit is dropping again. USDN is coming up with shorts. We're in full effect. We're trying to end this year on a high note, so make sure you guys tune in. If you're not on our YouTube, please subscribe, like, share, all that great shit. Click on the bell, follow us, because we are putting a whole bunch of content on our YouTube as well as our website. So if you're listening, if you like the videos, please go to our YouTube. We have I looked at it earlier, damn near 600 hours of content. A shit ton of content. So, and it's all good. It's all dope. So,
it's free on the YouTube. It's free. All you gotta do is go up there and watch the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment if you want to interact.
Absolutely.
Thumbs up the video if you like it, and thumbs down if you don't like it. That's all you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? This is still America. So we still got the First Amendment for now.
Hell yeah.
But that's other than that, we'll see next week. What mask will I be wearing next week?
Oh, it's the Halloween. You know what? I'll join you next week.
Yeah, you should. You still ain't fucking wore your damn Jedi outfit yet.
I'll wear it.
Yeah, Mark.
I'll wear it next week. I promise.
Copy that.
I got you. All right, people. That's it for us here at No Gimmicks on the DFPN. Until next time, y'all be safe. Take care of each other. Like what you want to like. Until then, peace.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And I know it's all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business. We give them no gimmicks.